like I said, I felt like he was the program. He ran the program. That's not a real friend group, bro. That's not a real friend group.
This gonna say something like, Kai your daddy. So I said, made you. Yeah, I said it.
He's the victim here, though. Like, somehow he's the victim here, gang. Somehow. If you make me this angry to even want to do something like this, I don't need to be around you.
After everything that's going down with DDG and Jay Cinco, along with the capaholics, you probably want to know the entire situation without having to click on 20 different videos. I condensed everything that's been happening and everything you'll need to know in this one video throughout it with timestamps. So if you want to skip to any point, to rehear a part, to know what's going on in a specific area, to miss something, to hear something that you might have missed throughout this entire beef, you definitely can. But I hope you guys enjoy. This is Jay Cinco versus DDG in one video.
I get it. I see the piece of outfit, comedian, everything, but you gotta understand the longevity of this. We trying to get brand deals, bro.
I know.
But you sitting here talking about kids watching, bro. Like, we gotta.
Guess what? Them kids. I'm gonna about them kids.
Man, can you just chill out for me, bro? Bro. Please, bro, like.
That was DDG's new capaholics group. And don't worry, you're not the only one a little bit confused about what you're seeing. Everybody else is on the internet, which is crazy to say because it's only day 2 of them being a thing. And I already see a ton of people complaining and talking about how bad the group already is. Can't be that bad. It's not like they're making crazy jokes all the time because you just heard it yourself. DDG is trying to get brand deals.
How many you think you can take at once?
Whoa. I don't know if that's the type of content that gets brand deals, but I don't think it is. Along with the fact that people feel like the content is pretty repetitive, and one of the people who were supposed to be in the capaholics literally pulled out before they even started. It's all pretty chaotic, and I am getting a little ahead of myself. So why don't we start from the very beginning with who even are the capaholics and why is everybody hating on them?
We in this for life.
Going live in 5.
All right, come on, let's do it.
Come on, let's go.
Come on. Ooh, they ain't ready for this.
For anyone that's unaware, Capaholics is the newest streaming group started by DDG, where he brought a bunch of his friends and bought a giant mansion in order for them to make content every single day of this month, and moving forward, just put content together as a group. His entire goal when making this would be to compete with other big streaming groups, the biggest being AMP along with FaZe, hoping that he can have a stand and even help some of his friends who aren't as popular as him in order to make it so that they can change their life with just content creation. And as you saw in that trailer right there, it was showing all of the members. Unfortunately, when day 1 actually came for the capaholics, somebody was missing, and this entire chat, along with everybody's chat, would not stop hounding DDG about it.
I got the best room. Then this my room though. Like this my room. Like.
Alright, chat, look, this is my setup, right? Women will ever be on this bed just for me if I have a long streaming session.
We're here. Got a nice little bed going on, a little action right here.
But I'm gonna address the elephant in the room, y'all, because nobody else is. Whoever y'all see in this group is in this group. Whoever y'all see today is in this group.
Things can be further explained later on, but for right now, that's just what it is.
Now, the many observant of you will obviously notice I didn't show 2 people there. Well, one of them being DeShae, because I couldn't find a non-obscene clip of him doing something wild or saying something crazy. So just know DeShae is there. But the other person was Jay Cinco, who was actually in the trailer, but didn't end up being part of the capaholics. So day 1, before anything even started, when they first booted up the stream, it was already somebody who left the group. It was already smelling disaster for everybody. But obviously, streaming groups and streaming in general has become a little bit too cartoonish, and sometimes people like to script stuff. So that's what people were hypothesizing was actually happening. Don't get me wrong, it's a pretty smart idea. You leave Jay Cinco out, you get people like me or any other commentary YouTuber or anybody who wants to hate on DDG to talk about the situation, saying, hey, his group is already failing because 1 member is gone. Then the very next day, he just revealed that he was out because he was sick or something. So they were genuinely spamming the mess out of DDG the very next day, to the point where his name had to get banned in his chat because of how annoyed he was.
Yeah, I already explained to y'all, bro. Y'all keep asking about it. Ain't nobody. Whoever y'all seen yesterday is in the group, bro. How many times y'all want me to say it, man?
From sneakers.
Oh, yeah.
You in my way to say it?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. Everybody walk up. Everybody walk up.
I'll be honest, it's probably a bad sign that at the inception of your group, after just filming one trailer, one of your members is already gone. And that already spread the doubts of what the capaholics are going to be. Because there's no way you can start a group, have no drama, because there really isn't even anything that happened yet, at least on camera, and somebody already gets dropped. Yet DDG wants to compete with the likes of AMP and FaZe. So if that's the case, that means the other members are gonna have to stick up and become something greater and even bigger, to the point where that even though they're down one member, people will still latch onto them and really like them. Because I'm not making this up. I know I already said multiple times he's trying to make this the next big streaming group, but I haven't actually showed y'all the clip of him saying it. So before we get into the next issue that people are having with the capaholics, let me show you what he is truly trying to turn this group into.
My main thing with this whole group is I want to get to a point where we can be looked at like AMP or looked at like a FaZe, where, you know, we getting brand deals and we, like, you know what I'm saying, we really building that's substantial. That's why when we dropped the trailer, it said October 1st to forever. And I know, I feel like maybe it would have been more transparent if we would have did a trailer in the actual house rather than doing it in a Airbnb. And I kind of feel like we kind of sold y'all a dream, but at the same time, it's more so about, you know, just it's not about the house, it's about the creator. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's not about the house, it's about the creator. He wants this forever, and he wants the capaholics to actually be something big. Pretty normal thing to think once you start a streaming group, right? Well, unfortunately for him, the actual content that they're making doesn't seem to be hitting the mark for a bunch of fans. To the point where we have people on his comm tweeting and talking about it and getting responses back from people like Dub and actual members of the capaholics because of how they're annoyed that they're complaining at all. But let me show you some of this premiere content that happened on the first and second day of their inception.
Both my parents dead and I'm a trillionaire, so I'm spending money on that pussy. I got $1,000 pussy. Can you listen?
You ain't got no thrust.
No, I'm saying this.
No thrust.
Can you do motorboat right now?
She said you ain't got no thrust.
No thrust power.
I don't have no motorboat.
I get it. I see the peace outfit, comedian, everything, but you gotta understand the longevity of this. We trying to get fucking brand deals, bro.
I know.
But you sitting here talking about meth, but it's fucking kids watching, bro. Like, we gotta...
Nigga, guess what? Fuck them kids. I'm gonna fuck about them kids. Fuck them kids. I didn't ask them kids to watch me.
But it's like, bro, we are a group, bro.
Okay.
How many niggas you think you can take at once?
Whoa! Hey, you want some? I got you. Give me some. I'm gonna get you some. Come on. Put it down.
You want to see it?
No, I want to see it in person. I got it. It's in here. Come on. Look. Come on, let's go. You stay out here. I gotta talk.
This is some crazy, wilding out type of content for Twitch standards. Now, if you were to show me this on Kick, I would be like, I don't know what you expect. And especially since DDG is trying to be the next FaZe, AMP, and get brand deals, sponsorships, and just have people want to come and put their name around capaholics, I certainly don't think this is the way to do it, especially when you compare it to the other groups that he wants to be like. I don't see anybody in FaZe doing these types of jokes. I don't see anybody in AMP going out of their way to do things like this. But it's not just me saying this, because it's gonna sound like I'm hating and I'm pulling this out of thin air. No, there are people from his actual community who watch and enjoy his content talking about how they dislike how some of the people in capaholics have been moving. The way Dub and especially DeShae was moving on last night's stream, I don't see them getting any brand deals. That whole stream was so ass. That's just my opinion though. I said the same thing last night. I just find it hard to watch self-sabotage content. DDG's supposed to be rebuilding his PR with all he had going on recently, and he's just taking it again with what folks did last night. They tend to forget they represent a brand image now, not just their own name. This is a brand that has sponsors now. If they think they can still do the shit they used to do as a creator, then the brand is cooked. I think our expectations were all high yesterday to see something different. The yesterday's segments was too cringy with a lot of shouting. Still W though. Of course, with all of those complaints, you would think that every last person didn't like it. Obviously, there are some people that were still very much into it, but that reception was wide, and even through TikTok, I saw some people complaining and talking about how they weren't happy with how the capaholics were moving. Don't get me wrong, the content was kind of normal stuff. Outside of the very exaggerated and weird jokes they made, it was normal bring girls on and try to have fun type of content. But I feel like a lot of people were just looking for them to elevate their content, again, on the same level as the people who's trying to compare themselves to. AMP, face and just bring something different and new, when in all reality he just bought a house and did the same thing he normally does at his own house. And of course, with people complaining a lot, someone is gonna want to respond. And this time it wasn't even DDG, it was actually his brother Dub, who ended up replying to that first tweet I showed saying, "Hey Ashlyn, you must not watch me, LOL. I don't do content to get brand deals. I do content to make my audience enjoy and laugh. I have millions of dollars already. I'm just using my talent God gave me to bring entertainment to the audience he gave me to entertain." But 100% with a kissing heart emoji. Seeing Dub say that while his brother is literally contradicting that complete statement several times throughout those streams is pretty wild, honestly.
Comedian, everything, but you gotta understand the longevity of this. We trying to get fucking brand deals, bro.
I know.
There's hella people watching, bro. I'm trying to make this shit real income from niggas, bro. Listen. Looked at like AMP or looked at like a phase where, you know, we getting brand deals and we like, you know what I'm saying? We really building some shit that's substantial. That's
Oh my God, no, bro, come on, we don't get not one brand deal.
Brand deal this, brand deal that. I want this to be something substantial. I want to be looked at like a phase, the AMP. I want our conglomerate, our group that represents all of us to have some sort of worth. And it just seems like the people in that group don't really care and see this as a clubhouse for them to just have fun and do whatever they want to do, not actually build something substantial. And I feel like that does start and fall on DDG to begin with. He is the bigger name out of everybody in this group. He is the one that's supposed to be not controlling them, but setting things straight and making it very clear of what his intentions are so that everybody else in the group can move like that. But then again, I would just say it probably fell off from the inception. If you look at any of these creators, you already know what their content is, and you already know that they have been in some sort of controversy, specifically again Dub and DDG First, who make a specific style of content that people already don't agree with, and I don't know if you could really go that far in. But maybe even given the benefit of the doubt, DDG actually brings them all together and decides to elevate the content. Instead of just having girls on doing this, and this, he actually decides to put a remix on it, do like a live Tinder, do something very creative on live stream that we actually haven't seen with the style of content that they all already do. But that's not even what's happening. As you saw, somebody already pointed out that the content is still the same, even though they were looking for something to be elevated. And if that's not going to be the case, I don't know how we can be looked at like these other orgs and even build one himself, because these other brands already have issues with people leaving when they are already built in a substantial way and don't really have any true controversy. We can see that with things like FaZe, where two of the members already talked about how one is leaving because of internal stuff and one doesn't want to actually do things with the organization that is FaZe, stuff that's happening behind the scenes.
Okay, when I say this, I ain't talking about the FaZe boys, okay? I'm not talking about like Adapt, I'm not talking about the boys, I'm not talking about Ray, I'm not talking about Bepsi, I'm not talking about Addison, you know what I'm saying? I talk about the FaZe boys. There was some disagreements between me and FaZe throughout this year, you know what I'm saying? That I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about the boys. There was some shit that didn't go, you feel me? I ain't gonna say too much, right? There's some shit.
I don't know. I know I told you I was leaving FaZe and niggas thought, damn, bro, this nigga's going on another hiatus, bro. He quitting on us, bro. I'm not disappearing. There's just been so much I've been dealing with for the past like 3 months. I'm not gonna lie, bro, that I literally, I don't think y'all understand. When I told y'all I cannot go in depth and can't speak on shit, I can't speak on shit.
Groups as a whole already have their issues with them, and we're talking about at the highest level, the best of the best groups. Eternal problems with the actual members, management being upset, all of these things, brands not being happy with how you're acting, and yet we're already seeing doubts and troubles with this group from the very beginning. They can't even get a chance to get to the top if they're already having troubles way down here, from members already leaving to now we seeing the content being weird and people not liking it, the fact that they're not even using this group to elevate themselves. But it's all pretty early, I'll be honest. It's day 2, and I wanted to talk about all the big complaints that are already happening in 2 days. While I do hope for the best for them, I wouldn't be surprised if things start to keep going on a downward trend, especially if people aren't caring about actually elevating the group as a whole, which you literally saw verbatim people say out of their mouth. Then it will just go up as another group that happened to fail and was never truly successful.
Like I said, I felt like he was the program. He ran the program. That's not a real friend group, bro. That's not a real friend group. Last year, I was at the bottom of the rank. This person has talked to various crazy, calling I made you and who you draw this and whoop, like
After DDG's new group, the Capaholics, was announced, a bunch of people were tuning into it, seeing all of the members. And one member that stuck out to a lot of people happened to be Jay Cinco. Not because he was one of the funniest people inside the group, but because when Capaholics actually started on October 1st, he was the one person that wasn't there anymore. And a lot of people were so confused and didn't understand why until we spoke out recently talking about how he was disrespected, he was used, and basically their entire friend group as a whole isn't even a real friend group. Basically trying to expose not only DDG but other people with inside the group while he was alive yesterday. But we're going to break down the most important parts of everything that's going on. You know, in order to do that though, we have to start from the very beginning.
Seen a lot of narratives, people talking about it's cause of my girl. Like, first of all, let's just nip that in the bud right there. I did auditions for Argue My Ball with my girl. My girl knew, like, she knows what entertainment is. She doesn't trip up conversation. We have a very healthy relationship, you know what I'm saying? So that's never the case. I see narratives saying that I want to be, you know, I think I'm bigger than the program. Definitely is not that, you know what I'm saying? I come from a place where I know ain't nothing bigger than the program, you know what I'm saying? But program can't work other than they bigger than the program.
Jay Cinco starts his entire live stream dispelling a lot of rumors. Before anybody actually knew the reason why he wasn't inside the Capaholics, they did start multiple rumors saying it was because of his girlfriend Lala and her connection with DDG, or that she was just having him not do it because they already know the type of content they make, which is mainly girl content. And he clears all those rumors saying he already did My Ball auditions, which again was girl content with DDG and the other collectives where they had auditioned other women, and she understands that at the end of the day it's just content. None of that stuff actually means anything on their true relationship, along with dispelling the fact that people thought he was bigger than the program, saying that he thought he could make it farther without needing the Capaholics, and that's the whole reason why he decided not to join them, because he could just grind on his own and get way farther than anybody as a group. Also dispelling that, saying he knows that's not the case, being like, hey, I do mess with people that are actually in this group, but somebody in the group was thinking that they were actually bigger than the program. And that's where he gets into the actual disrespect he apparently faced while inside the Capaholics.
You know, a situation transpired, you know, where I caught it when it was wrong. You know, the person came at very disrespectful, very childish, very immature. To the point it wasn't even about what I came about anymore. It was just some way deeper, you know what I'm saying? And I felt the animosity, and animosity doesn't always have to be about money. Don't hate about because, oh, I got more money, I'm gonna hate on you. Like, nah, it stems from different places. I'm not a therapist. I don't know where that stems from, but I felt it, you feel me? Various times I try to leave our group chat, you know what I'm saying, and defuse the situation, you know, but like I said, I felt like he was the program. He ran the program, you know what I'm saying? So he kept adding me back and just turning it down, like coming at it in real disrespectful ways, talking to it like a friend would never talk to. Again, like, this happened once before, but I let it go, you know what I'm saying, because, you know what I'm saying, the person came to me and was like, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, you know what I'm saying, I'm going through certain situations, and I'm like, I respect it.
Throughout this entire talk, at no point in time did Jay Cinco actually say the person's name, but because of tweets and other clips we'll go into later, we know for a fact it was DDG. The overall situation he's talking about definitely explains why you probably wouldn't want to be a part of that group, if all of what he is saying is true, because we actually don't know. At no point in time did he show proof, text messages, anything like that. It's just basically he said, she said. With Jay Cinco talking about situations that happened in the past already, some people believe it was even more of DDG, because he's talking about things going on in the person's life, and if you've seen DDG's year, it definitely would make sense why he would want to lash out at somebody. But lashing out at a friend, especially in that situation where he's just trying to come to you and tell you that you did something wrong, makes it 10 times worse. And then doubling back by adding him to a group chat that he continuously tries to leave and continuously disrespecting him over and over and over again just shows the level of arrogance that at a certain point no one's gonna want to tolerate. At least that's what you would think, because apparently this is an isolated situation with Jay Cinco. It's a situation throughout that entire friend group that he not only calls fake, but basically also claims this person goes around disrespecting people continuously and they don't do anything but sit there and accept it.
Even that group, like, it's not a real group, bro. Like, that ain't real, them ain't real. Like, and I'm not saying like speaking on as far as everybody individually, I'm just speaking as a group. That's not a real friend group, bro. That's not a real friend group. Our friend group was always based off of the ranks of popularity. Like, last year I was at the bottom of the rank. If I put up to the club late, nigga, tell me over. Like, you can't even get in the club. Like, I'm not coming out to get you. You know, this person has talked to various crazy, you know what I'm saying? Even the time I got talked to crazy, like this situation where a just blatantly disrespected a nigga below the belt, he blatantly disrespected another nigga below the belt, and that person didn't say nothing. They took it. Like, they just nigga calling bitch, I made you, and ooh, you dry this, and whoop, like real, like real crazy shit, fool. It's like, damn, like, say some shit like that to the other nigga, the nigga just ain't say nothing, you feel me, and just took it and just, you know, whoop, like sat under it, Game me.
I will have to keep saying a lot of this stuff obviously isn't confirmed, but he is saying things that people have speculated about from the inception of the capaholics. Obviously, they've only been out for like 2 days, so you've only been able to see their interactions between 2 days. But a lot of people have already called that, saying that they don't seem like a genuine friend group, along with the fact that DDG, obviously being the most clouded, having the most eyes on him, the most attention in the entire group, would be able to pull egotistical moves like that. With the notoriety and connections that DDG has, he would be able to pull big brand deals that he could easily just say somebody inside the group wouldn't be a part of in order to gain control of them. Again, not saying that he did that because we have no proof that he did, but it would make sense that out of anybody in the group, yes, DDG would be the one to be able to do it. Along with the fact that people were calling out his ego mid-live stream as he was going on an entire rant on Twitter, tweeting about it consistently as Jay Cinco was talking about the situation, along with even changing his bio on Twitter because of certain things that he said. Dog on a view high and just yapping, crying laughing emoji. Nigga ad farming now, laughing emoji, just yapping. Shit finna cut in half when he touched that car door handle. Niggas switch up on a gang when shit gets sticky. Y'all know I ain't start nothing, I finish it. That young man is an imposter. Going and changing his bio to the program. Regardless of how you feel about this entire situation, thinking that Jay Cinco's gotta be lying, he's making all of this up, you gotta agree that doing that stuff from DDG is the most egotistical thing you could possibly do, especially when Jay Cinco didn't name you at all. You didn't give a name actually this entire live stream. But later on, when he would start talking more, he would even bring up the fact that instead of just saying disrespectful things like this person made him, or talking about the cars that he drives, clothes, any of that, he also talked about a brand deal that he was going to give them, basically hovering it over him, trying to use that as leverage to get him to join the group back and basically control him.
Discrediting, you know what I'm saying, telling nigga I wouldn't be and I can't make it without it and made you drive this and this and that, you feel me? It's like, then I'm like, man, I'm out this shit. I ain't finna argue with you, bro. You a kid, bro. You mentally a kid. Talking about nana and the boo-boo and just, bro, childish fool, like childish. It's like, I said I'm gonna lead a group, try to wave some money over my head, try to wave a gambling deal. Like, oh, sent a screenshot like, oh yeah, you finna lead a group, all right, bet. I was finna bring this. I was finna bring this here to y'all. Send a little screenshot of some money. I told the nigga, man, f that money. Can't, like, you think you could call a nigga out his name and disrespect the to the max, and you think you could send a screenshot of some money and I'm supposed to kiss your, man, you out your mind, bro. You out your mind, bro. And I have various signs. I don't let shit slide so many times, gang, like so many times, because I want to be accepted by a group of I thought was cool, or accepted by I thought was cool. Certain niggas I thought was cool.
Don't get me wrong, money is an amazing thing. The way it can help a bunch of people, and not even just yourself when you're getting it, but the people around you, is beautiful. But to try and wave money over somebody's head in order to control them and use them so that you can just say and do whatever you want is some of the weirdest things possible, especially in an industry like content creation, where we can all just win together without having to worry about somebody holding a brand deal over your head, or talking about not being able to help you with videos, or just not being able to help you, period. But that just seems like what's going on in this situation, where he's trying his best to have control over not just Jay Cinco, but the entire group, and it's not really working out with him, at least, to the point where he is willing to leave and not come back because he just wants to have his own respect. Obviously not making as much money, but it's gonna be morals over money every single time. What makes it even worse is they were trying to convince this man to stay inside the group and just not be cool with him, which makes no real sense. It just shows how fake that group actually is if they're willing to go to this extent. Really do have someone there that obviously is not only being disrespected by somebody else in y'all's group, but also just doesn't want to be there because of the fakeness he sees within the collective.
I don't want your money. I want you to be here. You know what I'm saying? I want you to genuinely respect me and show genuine love. That's what I thought. I thought going into the house, I'm finna make millions with my friend. And told me, gang, put that shit aside, bro. Like, come on, please, bro, put that shit aside. Like, you could just, like, y'all don't gotta like each other. We gonna make more money, bro. It's business, bro. Like, think about the business, man. The business, bro. That's not what I signed. If it's all about business, I'd rather be by myself. I'd be self-employed then, nigga. That's not what I'm about. Maybe you consider like what y'all been doing, sitting around faking it with a nigga and only kicking it with a nigga because it brings some type of benefit to a life. But me, I can't do that, fool. I gotta play it safe with y'all. I can't give y'all all my loyalty. I gotta genuinely be under a crib with a nigga and I'd be like, I could do this for, but I can't go up here for. Like, nah, bro.
That's a pretty big issue with group content in general. I feel like a lot of people want to get in these groups thinking that, hey, man, as long as we combine our audience together and we have fun, then we're definitely going to grow not only together, but also just make a lot of money. And it should benefit everyone around. But if you're not genuinely friends with somebody, then it makes no real sense to do this type of content. Even on just like a business level, like, oh, we're cool, so we're just going to all hang out together. It doesn't not only feel genuine, but it also is just odd, because once situations like this were to happen, instantly the entire group is going to just crumble afterwards. Doesn't help anybody trying to fake a relationship just to get some type of gain, notoriety, anything from it, especially since you would have to do that long term with somebody who is just feeding their ego at the end of the day if you're actually going to sit there and just be a yes man to them. It's all pretty weird if it is true. Unfortunately, those are the important parts of what Jay Cinco said. After that, he got into some yap, but we do have responses from other people that were inside the groups, mainly Dub, deshae, and even DDG, who didn't really go in depth, but wanted to say his piece on the situation a little bit here and there throughout his stream yesterday.
Yeah, I want to start off by saying Cinco is lying. I want to do it on desktop when I talk about that shit. I am the program, y'all.
Call me DD Program. DD Program.
I'm lying. Hey, show the message. Hey, that's why I leave it at that. Show the message. I ain't gotta say nothing else, gang. You wanna prove it to me? Show the message.
You know what's crazy though? I will say this though, I'm such a real nigga, I ain't even gonna do it to him tomorrow. But if I did what he told me to do, talking about show some messages, bro, y'all look at that nigga so damn different, I'm not even gonna do that though. Nigga probably lose it all, bro. I don't know why he encouraged me to do that.
This makes no real sense to me, as everything Jay Cinco was saying is not only an attack on DDG's group, but DDG as a person, his entire character. No matter what you might say, be like, yo, I can pull up clip after clip of people saying they mess with DDG. I can pull up clip after clip of people showing that DDG is actually out here helping people. That's all online. Those messages, stuff that happens behind closed doors, or these real people. A lot of people get confused and want to pull up clips, old live streams, old YouTube videos, being like, hey man, look at what DDG did here. Look at what this person said. That's all on camera. Nobody is out here blatantly disrespecting people on camera, because then you're going to do the same thing that you're doing now with these good clips with bad clips. That's why he's encouraging them to show the messages. If anything, that would prove that DDG is more in the right. If he is so correct, then I don't understand why he's not willing to do it. It just doesn't make any real sense to me. But maybe he is just that good of a person and he just doesn't want to destroy Jay Cinco's career, which is what I've been seeing online. But outside of just DDG, we have had the most neutral takes of neutral takes. People that are on both sides of the situation, like DeShae Frost, have come out and shared their opinion.
You leaving, that shit gon' like, cause I had shit planned for me and Cinco, bro. I had shit planned for me and Cinco. And I was like, damn, bro, like I had a little segment and all this shit. But am I still gonna do streams with Cinco? Hell yeah. Am I still gonna do streams with DD? Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm still gonna do streams with them niggas. Them niggas just, you know, they not fucking with each other right now. And, you know, maybe that shit changes. I think that shit will change in the future. You know, I think niggas will come together and come together later. It might not be today or tomorrow. It might be in a year. It might be in 5 months, 6 months. Who knows? But I think this shit's gonna be crazy right now, bro. I think this shit's gonna be...
Now, obviously, I can't blame DeShae, but he didn't really go in depth within the group chat situation, which if it's a group chat with everybody that was in Capaholics, he would be in it, talking about how that went down. He didn't really go in depth talking about anybody's ego, anybody's anything. He just talked about he wishes for the best for both of them and tried to stay out of it, which makes sense. That's how most of everybody else reacted. Anybody that was close with DDG and Jay Cinco just gave the exact same thing, hoping for the best for both of them, not really going into depth about any of their character or if any of that they said was even true in the slightest way. Unfortunately, this just shows why group content, or at least these streamer groups in general, are not working out. Purely because you're bringing together a bunch of people that actually don't like each other, and it gets even worse when you actually are friends and then transcend to that business level, because you can't really keep a group together while also maintaining the business side of things if you all don't look at each other as equals or as friends. And Dub actually went into that on his live stream, talking about the difficulties that actually come with this group content.
So we all was a friend group, but the only thing between our friend group is that some people was cooler than other people, then some others was cooler than other, and then we all combined. You know what I'm saying? Once you mix business with stuff, bro, it always go bad. Once you mix business with stuff, it always go bad. You know what I'm saying? But I was talking to Max about Capaholics, and he was just like, bro, here's what Max told me. It's a group now. So when y'all get into it, just know that y'all are a business. No, at first y'all was just a friend group. When it's business, when 2 niggas disagree, or 3 niggas or 4 niggas disagree on something, you're not stopping, oh, I'm just not gonna reply to this nigga in the group chat no more. Or if we go to the club or if we go out to eat, I'm just not gonna go because I don't like them. Now it's like, oh, I'm not doing content. I'm not doing business with this person anymore. When you make it a group, you're not making business. I'm not doing business with that person no more. So now I look bad just on the whole group. Me and DeShae get into it, and we get to the point where we want to fight each other. We say some disrespectful words. The business between me and DeShae is done, because it's not a friend group no more. It's a business group where we do everything together. So it'll it makes things worse when you're in a group when you get into it, because it's like, I don't want to make no money with you and I'm not going to talk to you. So that's the bad things about the group.
This entire disagreement between Jay Cinco and DDG just shows the bad natures that come with this group content and how downhill and terrible it is. Obviously, again, we have no proof of any of this unless DDG's stream shows us text messages or proof of things that are being said. But if you just take everything that Jay Cinco said as the truth, then it's understandable why he would want to leave the capaholics. And it's probably going to end up affecting everybody else in the group. It's just one person leaving right now. But if this is the venom that's spreading around the group, eventually it's just going to crumble down with more and more people leaving, them being distant, and the group actually breaking up. Which before the Jay Cinco stuff even happened, people were already speculating. And the fact that this stuff did happen, it's just basically coming to fruition.
This don't say something like, call your daddy. So I said, made you. Yeah, I said it. Every I beef with, now you want to be homies with him and network? I wouldn't be surprised if this on the phone trying to put mother plays together to get me robbed, whatever the a fake. He's a fraud.
After everything that's been going on with capaholics, DDG, and Jay Cinco, we had got multiple people's sides like DeShae, Dub, even Jay Cinco's after yesterday when he went on the live stream, but everybody was wondering what DDG had to say, especially after all the claims that Jay Cinco had made about DDG yesterday. And yesterday on live stream, DDG broke down not only Jay Cinco's entire video, but also went after to share some screenshots and some personal stories about how he is not only a fake person, but also an actor, and using DDG's name to just gain views and clout while tearing him down and basically defaming him, as everything he stated apparently was not only untrue, but just came at a even smaller disagreement that wasn't worth it. But I don't want to bore y'all with an intro, so why don't we start from the very beginning with how DDG responded to Jay Cinco's video.
This is a script that I would never participate in. It's not a script, all right? This is real life. This is how this really acting. I'm not doing it. Look at her.
I just nipped that in the bud right there. I did auditions for Argue My Ball.
What the f does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Somebody please explain to me what the f my show has to do with anything, bro. Please. Mind you, he ain't text me and call me, do nothing. He just got on his stream. He waited till he got his little car and he like, all right, I'm finna try to on this. Okay, cool. Matter of fact, let me remind myself, this reposting hate. Knowing how much hate I already get online, this posting hate so I get more hate.
Couple of things to break down in the very beginning of that, with him stating that it is not a script. A lot of people online, especially how the content sphere has been going, assume that this was definitely going to be a script, just a way to boost the capaholics and get their name out there more because they are a new group. And DDG, out of everybody, knows that drama sells. He literally had an entire class talking about it at Streaming University, so we had to clarify him and already multiple other people before him, saying that this is not only not a script, but he's also moving weird. And the first one he addresses is that Jay Cinco tries to immediately state that is not because of his new girlfriend Lala, stating that he went on my ball. And DDG seemed very confused on why his show would matter, as if he's not listening to what Jay Cinco was saying. The reason that him going on my ball auditions matters is because this is how they were moving on my ball auditions.
Bet.
All right, stop, Ed. Stop. Okay.
I'll take that. I'm gonna give y'all a spin around.
Everybody already knows the type of content that DeShae, DDG, Dub all make, and it mainly is girl content. So of course, if they move into a house together, what's going to be a lot of the content? Girl content. And if he has a girlfriend, people are going to immediately assume that the reason that he's not going to be able to be in the capaholics is because she doesn't want him around that girl content. But obviously bring up that he's already done girl content to the level that DDG and them normally have it, which is just over gooner type content, proves that it's not because of Lala. Crazy that I had to point that out, but since he seemed confused, I just wanted to make it so that y'all were not confused at all. But afterwards, he then talks about claims of being childish, along with the fact that when Jay Cinco pointed out he kicked him and kept bringing him back into the group chat, that was all true and not lies at all.
Y'all say I don't take accountability? I'm childish. Don't give a I'ma stay childish forever. Let me tell you what he did. Cinco say some ho, right? Then he'd leave the chat. So my childish, I invited him back into the chat so I get my bars off. You're not finna say some ho to me, then leave the chat. No, that's not how it go. We gonna finish this convo. Say something to you, bro, and try to leave the chat after. Yeah, come back. I ain't done with you. I'ma say what the I wanna say now. What the hell? Yeah, I invited you back. I invited him back into the chat. I called everybody. Nobody ever singled out Cinco for anything. It's a reason why Cinco's the only one going online talking about it. We get into it all the time. Cinco done got into it with others in the group chat. We do that. We supposed to be homies. That's what homies do. You get into it with your homies, y'all make up, everything cool. We never brought nothing to the internet.
This entire video is supposed to be debunking Jay Cinco. That's the whole point. He went live to talk about why what he was saying wasn't true. So I feel like agreeing with him in any way already makes you seem like you're wrong in multiple areas. And then also the thing before, not understanding what he was saying about girl content stuff makes it even worse. Saying that you were childish. Also agreeing to the fact that yes, he left out of the group chat of his own will and you brought him back just to argue some more in a group chat. If you want to argue or talk about it personally, that's one thing. Calling up each other, which I feel like they both should have did, if it was actually an issue, would have made more sense. And even DDG pointed out that at no point in time did Jay Cinco call him, which I feel is odd. And the other thing I do feel is odd that I didn't mention in my previous videos was Jay Cinco bringing it to the internet. That is one point where DDG is definitely right. Any disagreement that happens with content creators, for some reason they feel like they need to bring it to the internet to share why they are not cool with somebody, which isn't necessary. If somebody were to ask or actually bring it up after not doing collabs with somebody, you can just say there was a small disagreement and leave it at that. Doing this does provide hate for not only Jay Cinco, but also DDG. And you are literally hate farming each other after you are supposed to be friends. I feel like bringing any type of disagreement to the internet is stupid because the internet can't do anything to actually help fix your argument. It's only going to make it worse and worse.
He get to bringing up God when he trying to get that sympathy. All this is about getting sympathy. That's all he want. He trying to get him some sympathy. That's why he keeps saying, I brought it up to God. I did this and that. We all pray. We all believe in God in this house. God ain't got nothing to do with you doing what you did. You didn't have to leave no group. You made that choice on your own, bro. This literally, he chose to do this. It was never this deep. It's obviously a hidden agenda, bro. He just took it. T.O. was on my ass. Me and T.O. was going back and forth. T.O. was not letting, nobody lets me hold them. We have disagreements and we talk about it like men. I don't hold grudges. This with Cinco, I was over in 48 hours. The reason why I didn't call Cinco myself, after we got into it, this literally said, don't apologize like you did last time. You see how he said that I apologized to him last time, right? A tell you don't apologize like last time like you soft. I ain't calling your phone. If he wouldn't have said that 48 hours, I would have called him like, man, ain't nothing.
First thing, I don't know Jay Cinco personally. I don't know DDG personally, but I do know people in my life personally who do heavily believe in God and bring him up often because that's just how much they believe in that faith. The fact that DDG was ranting about how much he brought up God, because before that he said it a couple other times, I just didn't show the clip, rubbed people the wrong way. If Jay Cinco is just someone that believes in God and mentions him a lot, then that's obviously how he's going to be in his responses, on his live streams, and on all of that. Again, I don't know him personally, but someone who does know him personally, another streamer, is Ben the Don, who also saw the same point and actually clarified that apparently Jay Cinco was like this all the time. And he doesn't know why DDG is mad that he keeps bringing up God, because apparently he's just that in tune with his faith.
I brought it up to God. I did this and
that's
that.
wrong, gang. I know that's wrong. Cinco always talk about God.
Nigga, you made that.
Whoever say I already believe Cinco, no, I know what the fuck's going on. I've seen everything.
Now, the other part of that is him talking about people and them just allowing it to happen. Obviously, that's just a he said, she said thing. People are probably not going to come on a live stream and admit that, yeah, I just let DDG talk to me all types of ways. But he said that that actually isn't the case at all. And the fact that he actually gets in it with people all the time and they just get over it like normal. I mean, that's what friends are supposed to do. And that's kind of understandable, but it depends on how bad you're insulting them or how bad the stuff you're saying actually affects them. There are certain things you can say that doesn't matter how long you've been friends with somebody. There is no going back after you say those certain words to people. I don't know if that was the case here, but what we do know is apparently Jay Cinco did not want an apology from him. And I can understand where DDG is coming from with that. If you told me you don't want me to apologize to you, then why would I go out of my way to actually do it?
Group, all right, bet I was finna bring this. If I was finna bring this here to y'all.
Bro, I put together a dog ass deal. Mind you, I don't have to do none of this, bro. I put together a dog. I'm like, man, hey, I was talking to this company. I'm like, hey, I ain't even trying. They like, hey, bring me some more streamers, whoop, whoop, so we can do this. I'm like, hell yeah, I got my homies, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to put niggas on to some money, bro. I'm wrong for trying to put niggas on to some money. I'm talking about 6 figures, though. I'm like, all right, you want to talk to me crazy? You ain't getting it. Ee-hee-ha, na-na, and the boo-boo. Yeah, nigga, I'm childish. Who gives a fuck? Whoop-de-fucking do, nigga. Congrats.
I don't know if other gonna go for that. I'm not going for that, gang. I don't need money that bad.
Goofy business. 700 is 700, brother.
A gambling deal. Waving a bag of money in front of somebody's face, looking at them and hoping that they are going to take it or be upset and regret their actions or decisions. Is that not something Jay Cinco pointed out, said DDG was doing, and now he is agreeing that he's doing it? Mind you, the antithesis and the first thing that DDG said when listening to what Jay Cinco was saying was that he was lying. But if we're being honest, looking at his actions, specifically that one, shows a level of arrogance and ego that Jay Cinco's already been pointing out. I understand understand that DDG wants to sit here and try to defend himself, but he's already agreed that he is childish. He's already agreed that he has been pulling Jay Cinco back into the group chat to get his stuff off, and he's already agreed to showing that he gave them a gambling deal and actually waved in front of his face and said that he couldn't have it. Now, how legitimate he felt that was, because he apparently thinks that Jay Cinco was going to come back to the group, doesn't really matter. It's odd behavior to begin with to wave a bag of money in front of someone's face and say, hey, you're not going to get it. I don't know what situation you would do that as a real friend. It seems odd to me, and obviously he's just going to phrase it that he was trolling and it was a joke. But a bunch of people, not just me, are going to see that and find it odd.
We did a little rap battle shit, boom, boom, boom. Kai doing his segment with all the skateboarders and shit. I'll go outside, I read my group chat. Everybody in my group chat talking about some, why you ain't fight him? Why you ain't do this? All this to get in a rap battle? I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Mind you, I'm talking to everybody though. Nigga, I do a group FaceTime. Man, what the fuck do y'all want me to do? Mind you, I'm talking to everybody, bro. Cinco was not singled out whatsoever. Everybody answered that bitch but Cinco. So since Cinco ain't answered, this nigga texting though. He texting like, this shit public embarrassment. And then he said some shit, this is what he said. I would have said, fuck Reggie dead dad for niggas to be rap battling face to face 4 months later. Laughing emojis. And working out, you laughing in this nigga face, but whole time, nigga, you want to diss his dead daddy?
This entire thing apparently started over a rap battle. For anyone that's unaware of the actual beef with DDG and Reggie, I'm gonna give you a very short telling of it. Reggie and DDG were going back and forth, hitting way below the belt, talking about Reggie's dead father from DDG's side, and Reggie talking about his son that DDG is unable to see or post on the internet at the time. And of course, when they actually met in person, nothing really happened. They did a rap battle and swept the beef under the rug. Unfortunately, I guess the capaholics weren't cool with that, and Jay Cinco was making crazy text messages talking about that. And DDG wanted to prove this by showing the one message, nothing else, and yet he still interpreted that message completely wrong. Obviously, some people might see that and think, dang, Jay Cinco was actually trying to disrespect Reggie, when obviously that's not the case. At the time of them beefing, Jay Cinco and DDG were out together doing content stuff, and DDG was trying to push Jay Cinco to a specific side, or at least pick a side, and Jay Cinco didn't, staying neutral the entire time. So he's just laughing at the fact that if he did pick a side and happened to be DDG, he would have dissed somebody's dead father for no real reason. But of course, it doesn't just end there. DDG continues on talking about other snake stuff that Jay Cinco has done.
What really made me say like, you know what, I don't fuck with this nigga no more. This nigga got to talking gangster shit with me. Typing with only C's and shit. Replacing all the K's. And I'm like, nigga, who are you trying to bang on? Cross the line, bro. The following day, called to yo, nigga, we going back and forth arguing, blah, 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 blah. This nigga gonna say some shit like, Kai your daddy. So I said, nigga, I made you, nigga. Yeah, I said it. I'm like, nigga, if you saying Kai is this, what the fuck am I to you? And then that's what he got to doing all this other shit. So we get on the phone arguing back and forth. This nigga, I told this nigga, all right, to me, shit ain't even that deep. Nigga, let's just go get some 16-ounce gloves, nigga, and let's just box this shit out. Hug it out afterwards, nigga. That's how I solved my problem. This nigga calls his Crip homies. I'm like, oh yeah, this ain't my mans. Knowing how this shit can go, knowing how fucking far it can go, I wouldn't be surprised if this nigga was on the phone trying to put motherfucking plays together to get me robbed, whatever the I was cool with the shit. I was straight until he did that shit. And I'm like, nah, this nigga's weird, bro.
So much to digest in that short clip. Now, in all reality, I don't know Jay Cinco's background. Only thing I know him as is a streamer. But any streamer going out of their way to get anybody they know from the hood in order to box somebody else is very odd and very weird. In all reality, Jay Cinco did talk about DDG saying that he made him, but in response to him saying that he was Kai's son. I don't know how y'all react to being called somebody else's son, especially when you are self-made, but anybody is going to react crazy to that. That was crossing the line on both sides. You saying you made somebody, yeah, you're not coming back from that, I'm annoyed, we don't gotta talk. And then him saying that he was somebody else's son, that is definitely weird behavior. Then again, at the end of the day, those are just words. People can get over words. What DDG is pointing out is him getting some people that he doesn't really know or associate with coming to try and box him after he said that him and Jay Cinco can just fight it out, which didn't end up happening, and especially wouldn't happen if you're saying you're going to bring other people there. Of course, DDG though is not finished and even ends up talking about how he treats other people in the capaholics group.
Bro, I don't need you for nothing, bro. I don't need Cinco for nothing, nigga. Bro, I could pull up a million fucking clips of me looking out for this nigga, me getting raiding a nigga, me being a nigga content, boom, no hating bone in my motherfucking body. Then he get online with all this sympathy shit whole time. This nigga laughing in motherfucking Reggie face, laughing in all these niggas' face, trying to network. And to validate what the fuck I'm saying, I go to anybody in capaholics stream, bro, and I type in Jay Cinco on their fucking gifted list, you won't see nothing close to 300. This nigga sent Bruce $1,500 and he ain't even notice him. I get if you would have did a 20 ball, I get if you would have did a 10, but nigga, you ain't give none of your homies 300. But you gifting a random nigga because you want to network. Every nigga I beef with, now you want to be homies with him and network. But the fact that he didn't pull up, nigga, it shows you, bro, the nigga been wanting to dip. He been wanting to leave. The nigga been on some bullshit. It is what it is. And his TikTok repost. The nigga reposts everything negative about me. Like he's trying to make people believe that I'm a bad person. Whole time, this nigga is fake.
A lot to digest right there. First of all, reposting stuff on TikTok to hate on the person you're beefing with is a normal thing that a lot of influencers do once they're not cool with everybody, but it is still pretty weird. Like if you're continuously spreading hate and putting out hate on another person instead of moving on with your own life, that's gonna annoy anybody. It's the fact that he's still seeing it, which is crazy to me, or even still following him, that makes it even worse though. But pushing hate towards DDG when you're supposed to be cool with him, or you just want to live your own life, does not make you the bigger or better person in the situation at all. Along with the fact that he brought up that he is a fake person, a snake. Over here gifting people like Bruce drop him off $1,500 worth of subs, but never doing that to any of his friends. And if that's true, which I'm not gonna look up, I'm not going through Twitch Tracker to see how many subs Jay Cinco gifted to people, that is definitely weird. I know his gift to Deshae subs recently, but I don't know if it was on the level of 300 subs. Unfortunately, the wins for DDG stop right there, at least in my eyes, because then he's a complete hypocrite in the very beginning, talking about everything he's did for Jay Cinco and talking about how he doesn't need him, helped him in many different ways, having him in videos, gifting him subs, and doing this and that with them. And the only reason that it's hypocrisy is because earlier in this same video, DDG was talking about how he doesn't call out or say things that he does for people because Jay Cinco was doing it for somebody else in their group, while in the same vein actually doing it himself.
I'm not even gonna point out like places where I helped this nigga because people just gonna look at it as like I'm bragging. I don't like to do that. I don't like to throw shit in people's faces. I don't do that. I know that's how he's trying to make y'all think that I do, or make y'all think that's what I do. It's not my MO. Bro, every chance he get when we argue, he bring up how he let T.O. stay with him. You had T.O. in your house because you enjoyed T.O. company. That's a cool nigga, bro. Ain't got nothing to do with trying to help nobody. You could have been told T.O. you grown ass man. You could have been like, hey, bro, hey, man, I ain't even trying to do that. You ain't got to throw it in his face every chance you get. That's the main nigga in this house that I want to win is T.O., nigga, because I hate how this nigga always bring up how he let him stay with him. You don't do that, bro. That's lame.
In all reality, obviously, he's going to bring up stuff he did for Jay Cinco because they're beefing, but to be a hypocrite and literally talk about how you wouldn't be doing that and then do it later in your video just seems pretty off to me. So it was something I wanted to bring up, honestly, to make this video longer. But at the end of the day, all this beef really taught me is that they are both wrong in their own right, especially if what DDG and what Jay Cinco are saying are both true. DDG basically confirmed a lot of what Jay Cinco said, but even then, DDG brought up stuff that Jay Cinco has done that is odd in every single way. Like I just showed you in that clip, bringing up what you've done for people is a very odd thing to do, especially when it's something like staying at your house. That's not a thing you throw in someone's face when you're genuinely cool and friends with them. But in that same vein, throwing a bag in somebody's face, saying nah, not a boo-boo, and acting like a complete child every time you get in an argument with somebody makes you weird too. And no matter who much you like more, you gotta agree that they are both wrong and right in their own points. And finally, bringing this to the internet was very unnecessary. Obviously, a lot of this stuff could have been solved. They just had a cordial conversation. Maybe it went over the lines at certain points, but if they actually just talked about it, kept it off the net, met up in person, and actually got through it together, there could be Jay Cinco and capaholics. Unfortunately, we do have someone bringing it to the internet and the beef getting worse and worse, causing them to probably never collab again or be friends like many people would have thought in the past.
Caption was, I'm lying, but everything I said is true. He's explaining everything I said. He's just not saying the full thing. This is my bro, but after you talking about I'm not your bro, made you never be cool, beat your, he's the victim here though. Like somehow he's the victim here again, somehow. If you make me this angry to even want to do something like this, I don't need to be around you.
The last saga of the DDG versus Jay Cinco beef happened last night, and after everything was said and done, it seemed like it was pretty clear that not only are they never going to speak again, but the behavior that was being displayed on this platform, it just proves a lot of people's points about what was being said about DDG. Outside of Jay Cinco, we had inputs from Ben the Don and even his own brother, basically proving that everything Jay Cinco was right in a way, and just became worse and worse as the stream went on. But I don't want to bore y'all with an intro. Why don't we we immediately dive in with how this all started in Jay Cinco's response.
So he said he doesn't want to bring it to the internet, but he announced that I wasn't in the crib. I didn't say anything. I didn't say nothing. You feel me? He announced I wasn't in the house, and that his words exactly, I will explain further later. You know what I'm saying? That's his words. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand what's different from him explaining it from me explaining it. And first of all, I ain't even say his name, chat. I ain't even say that name. Chat, everybody thought I was talking about this person, this person. You guys gotta understand, bro. The internet is my job. A lot of narratives were floating around that it was because of this reason, because of this reason, because of my girl, all type of reasons, right? Since I didn't say nothing, those narratives were just being believed. So it's like, if I'm gonna walk, let's just say about my girl, right? If I'm gonna walk away from this and I wanna create content to make money with my girl, I can't do that because now they believe a false narrative to where they wouldn't support what I got going. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm gonna come clear it up. I didn't say no names. I'm not like, DDG did it, like DDG is the reason. Like I said, I gave a very surface level answer.
With that clip we just saw, it was the beginning of Jay Cinco trying to explain why he brought it to the internet in the first place, which was even one of my gripes. I'm normally not on the side of people bringing beefs to the internet, especially when it's something that can be resolved in private and actually doesn't need to be stated. And just like Jay Cinco said, even when I first saw this narrative, I didn't see a bunch of people saying it was DDG. I saw a bunch of people blaming Dub, actually saying it was because of him, or again saying it was because of his girl. So it makes sense why he wants to come in and clear it up. And during that entire response that he had, he actually didn't say any names. Obviously, people are going to point fingers at a bunch of people from the capaholics because it had to be somebody in that group, instead of DDG coming out saying he's lying without even apparently watching his response, and then also sitting there basically hyping himself up and putting the finger all at him so we know he's talking about DDG, when it probably could have been swept under the rug and just been a one-time thing that everybody talked about and let it go. But because they both are now speaking on it and actually pointing fingers at each other, it had to continue on for this amount of days.
He's saying I started this. He just can't take the truth, bro. Like, he just cannot take the truth. And then when you tell him the truth, he's the type of, like, you tell bro the truth, he just automatically just snap on you. But that just show you how much respect for you. It's like, say, and I tell you, you don't even like hearing the truth. The truth really like sting that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the type of, he hates being wrong, gang. Like, hates being wrong, gang.
This, I feel like, is the biggest point out of this 2-hour video that Jay Cinco made, talking about how DDG cannot accept being wrong. And while a lot of people might sit there and be like, you don't know DDG personally, so how do you know we can't accept being wrong outside of Jay Cinco just saying it? Unless you want to automatically believe him, we can see that in his personal life when his brother talks about it. He talks about how he would defend his brother no matter what, right or wrong. If these are the type of people you keep around you, especially as family, I can only imagine the type of friends you would keep around you so that you can consistently always be right.
I don't give a what my brother do. My brother could be wrong. Like I said this before and I'll say it again. My brother could walk into a kindergarten, uppercut a kid. For whatever reason, I'm gonna say he was right. I'm gonna say my brother was right. Because when at the end of the day, this is my family, bro. This is who gonna make sure I'm good. If something happened to me, I'm gonna make sure something good when it happened to him. I side with my brother, bro. For the, like, as far as like, if it's man, you know, it is what it is. But on the internet, I'm not gonna let nobody talk about my brother. So listen, y'all, if anybody say anything about my brother, ban them. No timeout, ban them. We look like having a conversation about if my brother right or wrong, folks.
Whether if it's on the internet, not on the internet, in person, behind closed doors, face to face, holding somebody accountable is the antithesis of actually being close and cool with them. We are all human at the end of the day. You literally cannot be right 100% of the time. But even if on the internet, people try to portray you as always being right, at a certain point that is going to get to your head and influence the way that you do certain things. And with DDG, I feel like we can see that not only in just his brother saying that, but especially with his community always agreeing with him no matter what's going on. So of course to him, if he gets on the internet and gets in a disagreement with somebody, but everybody on the internet, his friends, his brother, anybody else around him, comment sections, Twitter threads, all saying he's not wrong, how could he possibly believe himself that he's wrong in any way, shape, or form? And if you're one of his friends saying actually you are wrong, then you're just being a weirdo, because why is the majority of people who I side with all saying I'm right, yet you want to single me out and say I'm wrong?
The nigga childish and disrespects people and treats them like they're nothing because of who he is. He's literally telling y'all this shit. But somehow he's the victim here though. Like somehow he's the victim here, gang. Somehow. Did I not, yes or no, did I not say, like, I leave the group chat and he'll add me back, right? Did I not say that, right? I could have sworn I was lying. Like everything, like his caption was, I'm lying. But everything I said is true. He's explaining everything I said. He's just not saying the full thing. I did not say no whole shit then leave. I would literally be like, I'm not finna go back and forth with you, bro. Feel how you wanna feel. Leave the group chat. He'll add me back. Oh, get back over here, boy. Da-da-da, and just start tapping. I'm like, gang, you like a little kid, bro. Like, why you want to go back and forth with me, bro? Like, can't say something is not deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I chose to leave because I felt it was deep. What you mean? Like, you disrespected the fuck out of a nigga. You said some real hurtful shit. I feel like I genuinely don't even want to be around giant energy no more. You feel me? Like, you can't tell me it's not deep. How the fuck you gonna tell a nigga you a bitch ass nigga and all this crazy shit, then tell me, nah, you can't stop being friends with me. It ain't that deep.
What I feel like it is a lack of understanding and a lack of acceptance that he is in the wrong, at least from DDG's point of view. Especially if you watch his entire video showing that he was joking the entire time. He was trying to demean Jay Cinco's feelings. Literally at the end right there, telling him that, hey, what he said wasn't that deep. What I said wasn't even that serious. Telling somebody else how to feel about something that you did is actually pretty narcissistic. And it would be different if it was just this one incident you could see with DDG here. But go throughout any of his beefs and you'll be able to find moments like this. We can even take a different beef that happened recently with Ben the Don, where he was in that same mode trying to punk him over a chair.
I'm telling you I ain't going back and forth with you, bro. So, can you please get up, brother?
Ask nicely, nigga. Don't
What did I just say?
back.
Can you please get up, brother?
Don't tap my back.
I was like, I really thought bro was trying to be funny on some shit like, yeah, and y'all gonna say it's trolling, but at what point is trolling like disrespectful in real life? You know what I'm saying? Like to where a point where it's like you either trying my manhood or like nigga you tripping or I'm tripping, because it always come back to who got the biggest fan base to whoever's tripping, and that's what makes people think that they could do certain shit that they do at any time, and I just don't agree with that. And I'm gonna stand on mine, whether it's a million niggas behind me or nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it a buck, fool. I'm not here to like persuade nobody to fuck with me or not fuck with me. That's just how it's gonna go.
For anyone that's unaware of the situation, you know there was an altercation between Ben the Don and DDG, where DDG was out here disrespecting Ben the Don over a seat, to the point where he wouldn't get up, told him not to touch him, and was basically making a very big deal after Ben the Don politely came up to him and asked him to move and even said please several times. Yet when Ben came to talk about it on stream, he was very respectful to DDG and just pointed out the places where he felt like he was wrong and should have moved differently. Yet when DDG saw that same response that Ben the Don made, he went the route that Jay Cinco was talking about. Apparently he is the victim. Apparently it's not that deep because he can tell you how you're supposed to feel about a situation, and he's just hate farming him for no real reason.
The only thing that I just don't fuck with or respect about the fucking seat shit, first of all, it's a seat. It's not that deep. And second of all, I had a literal 15-minute conversation with him. I had a 15-minute conversation with this nigga, and we hashed it out, shook hands, everything. Then they get online and hate farm. I'm like, I just didn't understand it. I'm like, bro, what? Didn't we just have a whole conversation? That shit just weird to me.
If you realize anything between these recent DDG beefs, especially with people that are okay with having their own platform or don't need them in any way, shape, or form, the going back and forth really tends to end. They come out here, they say their piece like Ben the Don. They come out here, they say their piece like Jay Cinco, maybe go back to clear it up and keep it pushing. Yet it seems like DDG wants to go back and forth, and it feels like he is the one that keeps wanting this internet stuff to go on, when in all reality it could easily end while he tries to take it to the furthest extent, and it's not really necessary. And unfortunately for us, it doesn't get any better, because throughout Jay Cinco's response while watching them, he points out multiple parts where DDG just obviously misconstrued his words on purpose to make himself sound better, when everybody else around him, even people in his chat, obviously can tell what the truth is.
And I just want to say this because he said I'm not a real homie. I don't care. This about bro. This I use God for sympathy. This is the videos I sent him. Right? All about God, like change the way yourself, like, you know, how to get closer to God. And I sent them a long message, right? These videos helped the nigga elevate my mind a lot and just change my perspective in life. A lot of us that do this on our own, never had these serious talks, it be helping to hear it and really just focus. Money good, but if your mind ain't right spiritually and mentally, you're not gonna be ever happy or satisfied in real life. Want the best for all y'all. Lock in with life and make sure right. Your situation not the end of the world. Just look at it as God teaching you a lesson for your actions, and learn from them and make better ones in the future. I would have said F Reggie's Bam for niggas to be rap battling face to face 4 months later on Mafia-thon 3. And I'm saying that to say, y'all niggas made me feel like I was a fake ass nigga because I didn't hop in the middle of the beef when I literally said I don't want to hop in it because I don't want to be in the middle of this shit and seem like a fake nigga, you feel me? Because it has nothing to do with me. It's
trying to prove that he is fake, trying to prove that that message shows that he's sneak dissing. In all reality, DDG didn't really prove much. And in the beginning, Jay Cinco obviously wanted to prove that, hey, not only is he not a fake person who's actually helped DDG, but he also is connected with God, which is something that DDG pointed out as a gripe as he was trying to get sympathy throughout his entire apology video. I don't know Jay Cinco personally, but if his first response to you going through trouble is you sending a bunch of videos showing what God can do and showing things that connected him more to God, and then in a giant paragraph saying that money, the thing that you know DDG definitely highly values, isn't everything and that he should connect spiritually and mentally with God, that seems like somebody that's connected with his faith heavy. I don't know him personally again, along with the big text messages that said he was dissing Reggie, which anybody with 2 pairs of eyes could look at, see, and be like, that's obviously not the case that's going on. And DDG is just using that one screenshot to misinterpret how Jay Cinco was trying to feel about the situation. And actually, he was just saying if he would have did what DDG wanted him to do or anybody else in Capaholics, then he would be in a very weird position when a couple months later, they would have been completely fine and that situation would have just made it worse for everybody involved.
Then no nigga gonna squab up for me. That's never what I said, gang. I'm squabbing a nigga off the dribble. You feel me? Like, and if you don't want to squab, bro, just tell bro, turn down the fade. Like, oh, you don't want to squab, bro. Cool. But I want my niggas there. You feel me? I feel comfortable with these niggas here. You feel me? Because I don't trust certain niggas. You feel me? I don't trust niggas, gang. At the end of the day, I take full accountability. And that's the thing, like, it didn't go through though. Why didn't it go through? I called my niggas the next day. I said, yo, bro, we not doing that, gang. Cause I got to my senses. That's why I said the devil will trick a nigga out of his spot. This nigga and fucking with these niggas, gang, they gonna make me crash out, bro, because it's just the disrespect and the not understanding, and it's like talking to a wall. And it's like you get so angry, and it's like if you niggas make me this angry to even want to do some shit like this, I don't need to be around you niggas, brother. And that's why I walked away.
Don't get me wrong, I still feel like Jay Cinco is wrong in certain parts. It's not like he's a saint and just did everything right. He definitely didn't. Like he talks about in that part where he brought his friends and we're actually gonna fight DDG, saying that he actually was gonna fight him personally, but was just gonna bring his friends there so he feels safe. From anyone else's perspective, that is not only wild, but it just feels like you were actually about to get jumped. And apparently he ended up calling it off and everything was okay. But in that realization, he talks about how if people are getting him this upset, then he just does not need to be around them, which is the case. And the life lesson that y'all should definitely live by as well. Anybody in this space can have the most successful, fruitful career if they just sit there and be a yes man to someone that's big. Obviously, that's not gonna happen for a lot of people. Once you go against somebody who feels like they are all that, or they feel like they are the program, all of a sudden you're a weirdo, you're a hater, when in all reality, it could just be you standing up for yourself and not wanting to take the disrespect that they are dishing out. But at the end of the day, that is just how I feel about the situation. If you want to tell me how you feel, the best place to do it would be the comment section down below, because this video is unfortunately over. But if you enjoyed this video, maybe consider giving me a like. And if you enjoyed content like this, then maybe consider subscribing, because I post like this every single week. And you'll never miss out on a single upload if you hit that bell icon, because you'll be notified the millisecond a video goes live. That's enough for me. I'm going to see you guys next one. Peace out.